Mabuhay, Kamustika, welcome. How are you? This is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. If my wife and I retire in the Philippines, I can come up with some things that would be exciting to ponder. However, I might be able to come up with just as many things that concern me. I need to think this through, and of course, I will need my Filipino wife's opinions because I think it will be a clean break from the United States if and when that happens. Perhaps in 2023 when I am 62. Please subscribe to Love Beyond the Sea for videos and longer live streams concerning what a foreigner would need to know about having a good relationship with a Filipina. I married one in May of 2015. Get notifications for upcoming videos and leave comments here or in the community corner chat rooms. There is a link to that in the description box. This video is part of a playlist called Expat Trial Run. Here are the Dirty Dozen, the 12 concerns I have about retirement in the Philippines. One of them is second thoughts. I certainly don't want to fly just under 10,000 miles away, settle into our new home with some of my wife's family, only to get a feeling of dread that I shouldn't have made that move with my wife. I don't want to go there and then wonder what I was thinking. This wouldn't happen, even if it does, until late 2023 or early 2024, so there is plenty of time to get mentally and emotionally ready for that big change. I know my wife will be overjoyed to live in the Philippines, and that is good motivation for me to think about retirement because I always want what is best for her. And I still hope to have a channel at that time, and I can see doing a goodbye video to the United States right before leaving. Most of us are probably reluctant to accept change, and I am no different. However, this would be a joint decision. If for some reason, perhaps medically, it might be dangerous for me to leave America, then of course we would stay here, but I want to gear up for this potential move as if it were going to happen and be excited about that. The only backup plan we would have is using our retirement money and perhaps having a small condo with some stuff in it that we could come back to if needed. Something else to think about. We would try to sell our house and everything in it, hopefully with everything in it. If that's possible, gather up all of our sources of income and fly to our home in the Philippines. I might actually need 5 years to mentally prepare for it, but there are positives, no doubt. I just don't want to look back when we do. The heat. Isn't there a saying like, if you can't stand the heat, stay out of the Philippines? I've had 3 exposures to it in April and May, August, and June, July. The most challenging was April, May when we got married in 2015. August was actually a lot nicer as far as less humidity, and June, July was all right, although I spent a lot of the time indoors being sick. Our house is very close to the beach, and I would like to get out there a lot just to walk in the water, although not barefoot, or the sand. My wife also had a small wading pool, that's what I call it, built next to the house with running water, so anyone can go in there and cool off, so I look forward to that. Then there's transfer of money to live on. I know all the ins and outs here as I have been doing online banking for a long time, but if in the Philippines I might need to get a ride out to someplace and do that. We would need to decide where the money is going to be stationed in the first place, where it's coming from. Will any of it be in the United States? Is it required to be? Can we slide pension and 401k money out of America into the Philippines and somehow avoid taxes? Making a new beginning. I don't want to go there to slowly die. I realize if I even make it that far, that I might be on borrowed time, and I want to live a meaningful life out there. Being with my wife is always meaningful and fulfilling to me, but I have the feeling there is potential out there in the Philippines for engaging in new and exciting ventures. If I knew how long I would live, that would be nice, but I don't know that. I want to retire in the Philippines, eager to start work on the next and final chapter of my life. Another concern is what happens if my wife dies. Okay, this is a serious one. I think about the dangerous traffic, and I have the thought that what if something happens to my amazing Aiza? That would be devastating. I would have a good relationship going with her family, and I could stay in the Philippines, but I don't know. I think I would be very nervous to stay there. Medical care is on the list of concerns. I haven't looked into medical care as far as what kind of quality care for what kind of health problems are available in Davao City, but would prefer to not have a major surgery there. I've had about 10 surgeries, from carpal tunnel in both hands, back, knees 4 times, shoulder 3 times, in one of my eyes. I have had a neck surgery postponed twice, which has kept me from lifting weights after doing it most of my life. I prefer to go to the Philippines and avoid having a major procedure done. I don't take any meds, so that is one less expense, and I would expect to pay for all meds out of pocket if I needed them. My privacy. I didn't get married until May of 2015 and lived by myself except for one time when I had roommates. I kind of accepted my privacy and liked having it. Having my wife with me has not made me feel at all like I have given up any of that. Living under the same roof with our family in the Philippines would certainly be challenging for privacy, but maybe that's a good thing. My mother lives with us now, and that has gone okay, but she doesn't make a lot of noise, and she's only one person. Most likely, having a household of people won't prevent me from doing what I want to do. A good thing about having family members around of all ages is that it would add a lot of variety to my wife and my life, and my wife's family is so very important to her. They know me from the times I have been there and talked a little on camera, and I think that will go well if I am, not intimidated, getting to know all the children too. I think at first they were a little leery about me because I tended to stay in the condo with aircon and didn't like being in the heat, sweating so much. It really isn't so bad in the evening when it gets dark around 6 p.m. I was never avoiding her family. It was just a new experience for me. I love them very much. As long as I can sleep in quiet, being in the last stage of my life, it would probably be best that my life is as interesting as possible. And living with our Philippine family. I just mentioned this in the last paragraph. My concern isn't living with and around her family per se, but not being in my comfort zone of a more controlled environment. I want to get to know each of them better. I want them to know I care about them. I want us to be comfortable around each other, and I want to be as accepted as one of the family. While this might require the biggest adjustment, it might also yield the greatest blessings. Having our family there with us is a benefit in living in the Philippines. So many people. The population of our city where we live is about 250,000, and that might be a little high. Davao, as far as I know, currently has a daytime population of about 2 million. Otherwise, supposedly, it is 1.5 million. I know what it's like. I hope it continues to develop. It might be different by 2023. Our home is currently at the end of a long street with some homes on either side, but it's not crowded there, so there is some elbow room. Maybe that provides a sense of escape from the vast population. Expats is another thing. I haven't seen a lot of expats in Davao, but I did see more in the mall the last time I was there. The reports on how expats get along with each other have not been glowing. A while back, I remember having the thought that I wanted to be around a lot of expats, but that has been lessening in importance since I've been thinking about what I might do there to stay active, physically and mentally. No doubt, however, that I think it would be nice to know some expats over there. Slower pace. Initially, this concerned me since I'm not used to that, having lived in America all my life. I've been in the Philippines several times and have gotten a little feel for the pace. It hasn't been all that slow, but I haven't been living there. I went to the doctor there the last time we went. We got there when the office opened, signed in, and waited to be seen. We were seen and sent to get a complete blood count at another place. We traveled there, signed in, waited our turn in line, got the blood tests, and drove back to the first place with the results, signed in, and waited our turn in line, sitting down to be seen by the original doctor. In America, with an appointment, this probably takes half an hour. That's getting the results of the test, which comes back in about 5 minutes here. I don't think appointments are common in the Philippines, so you probably want to show up early to avoid sitting in a long line. This slower pace is something I ought to get accustomed to. It would be good for my nerves to start accepting this now. So while initially it presents a challenge, eventually I see it as having potential to be a good thing. Danger. The final one on my list is danger. I wasn't even going to include it since my wife says Davao is very safe to live, and I absolutely believe her. I just wonder if that will still be the case in the future. That's all. Plus, I would want to travel with my wife to places in the Philippines she hasn't been to, and it would be more dangerous in some places than others. Those are some concerns off the top of my head. Maybe I could think of some others. Something I am not concerned about, though, is being there with my love beyond the sea.